The crystal champagne flutes clinked around me as my husband's family gathered around the gift table at the Ritz-Carlton ballroom. My sister-in-law Victoria was opening wedding presents, her new husband Blake documenting each one for their thank you notes. "Oh, another Waterford crystal set," Victoria cooed. "From the Pembrokes. How thoughtful." I stood at the back of the crowd, holding my champagne and trying to remain invisible. The Thompson family had barely tolerated me for the 5 years I'd been married to their son James. To them, I was the librarian who'd somehow trapped their golden boy. "Next is from." Victoria picked up my gift, wrapped in simple brown paper with a silk ribbon. "Oh, from Lily." The room temperature seemed to drop. She unwrapped it slowly, revealing the blue and white ceramic vase I'd carefully selected. The laughter started immediately. "Is that from a garage sale?" James's cousin Margaret stage whispered. "Couldn't afford something from the registry, Lily?" His Aunt Patricia added with false sympathy. "Time's tough at the library." Victoria held up the vase with barely concealed disdain. "How vintage." "Thank you, Lily. I'm sure we'll find somewhere to put it." "In the donation bin," someone muttered, causing another wave of snickers. My husband James, standing with his golf buddies, just shrugged when I looked at him. He'd stopped defending me years ago. "Let me see that." A woman pushed through the crowd, Sarah Chun, one of Victoria's bridesmaids. I'd heard she worked at Christie's auction house. Sarah took the vase carefully, her casual demeanor suddenly shifting to professional intensity. She turned it over, examined the base, held it up to the light. Her gasp was audible across the room. "Victoria," Sarah's voice was shaking. "This is a Ming Dynasty piece. Xuanda period, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have any idea what this is worth?" The laughter died instantly. "That's impossible," Patricia scoffed. "Look at it. It's old and dusty. It's 600 years old." Sarah interrupted. "This should be in a museum." "Victoria, where did you?" She turned to me. "Where did you get this?" "It was my grandmother's," I said quietly. "She left it to me." "Your grandmother had a Ming vase?" James finally spoke, incredulity in his voice. "You never mentioned." "You never asked," I replied. Sarah was still examining the vase with reverent hands. "There's an inscription inside. I need better light." "Oh my God." "What?" Victoria demanded. "This inscription, it's a poem, but there's also a seal. The imperial seal of Emperor Xuanda. This isn't just a Ming piece. This is an imperial commission. It was made for the palace." "How much?" Blake started to ask. "At auction? Conservatively? $2 to $3 million. Victoria dropped her champagne glass. The silence that followed was deafening. Every Thompson who'd just mocked my cheap gift was now staring at the vase like it was the Holy Grail. "But that's not even the most remarkable part," Sarah continued, still reading the inscription. "This poem, it tells a story about a young concubine who saved the emperor's life and was rewarded with elevation to empress. The vase was commissioned to commemorate her bravery." She looked at me with new interest. "The concubine's name was Lily Chin. Your ancestor?" I nodded. "My grandmother was very proud of our family history. She fled China in 1949 with only 3 things: her infant daughter, the family genealogy records, and this vase." "Why didn't you ever tell me this?" James demanded, his face flushed. "When?" I asked. "During the family dinners where your mother introduced me as James's little librarian friend? Or during the holidays where your sister made jokes about me shopping at Target? You let us think you were poor," Patricia accused. "I am poor," I said. "I'm a librarian. I make $45,000 a year. But being poor and having a valuable family heirloom aren't mutually exclusive." "You should have sold it," Margaret said. "If you knew it was worth millions." "And that," I interrupted, "is exactly why I never told any of you about it. Because you see everything in terms of monetary value. This vase isn't just worth millions of dollars. It's my family's history. My grandmother carried it across an ocean. My mother protected it through poverty and hardship. It represents 6 centuries of my family's story. And you just gave it away?" Blake asked, bewildered. "I gave it to family," I corrected. "Or what I thought was family. A wedding gift is supposed to be meaningful. This is the most meaningful thing I own." Victoria was clutching the vase, now like her life depended on it. I don't know what to say." "Thank you would be traditional," I suggested. "But I can't accept this," she protested. "It's too valuable." "Now it's too valuable?" I laughed, but there was no humor in it. 5 minutes ago, it was a dusty garage sale find. That was before we knew. Before you knew it had monetary value. But its real value hasn't changed. It's still the same vase. The same gift given with the same intention. The only thing that's changed is your perception. Sarah carefully took the vase from Victoria's trembling hands. If I may ask, Lily, why this vase? Why give away something so precious to your family? I looked at Victoria, then at James, then at the rest of the Thompson clan. Because I believe in marriage. In family. In new beginnings. My ancestor Lilychin risked everything for love and loyalty. The emperor recognized that and honored it. I wanted to pass that legacy on. But to people who mocked you. Sarah pressed gently. Especially to them, I said. Because sometimes the most powerful gift you can give someone is the opportunity to see their own prejudice. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Lily, I'm so sorry. We've been horrible to you. Yes, I agreed. You have. Wait, James stepped forward. You're worth millions and you never told me? Your husband. The vase is worth millions, I corrected. I'm worth exactly what I've always been worth. The question is, what was that to you? His silence was answer enough. I need some air, I said, setting down my champagne glass. I was halfway to the door when Sarah caught up with me. That was extraordinary, she said. Both the gift and the lesson. But can I ask, are you really going to leave a $3 million Ming vase with people who treated you so badly? I stopped and looked back at the Thompson family, now huddled around the vase like it was a holy relic. My grandmother used to say that the universe has a way of testing us. She saved that vase through war, famine, and exile. Not because of its monetary value, but because of what it represented. Honor, courage, love. And you think they'll understand that? No, I admitted. They'll probably sell it within a year. James will divorce me to try to claim half its value. His family will fight over who really deserves it. That beautiful piece of history will end up in some collector's climate-controlled vault. Then why? Because integrity isn't about what other people do. It's about what you do. I gave that gift from my heart, to honor my grandmother and share our family legacy. What they do with it reflects on them, not me. Sarah studied me for a moment. We're looking for someone to head our Asian Antiquities department at Christie's. Someone with deep cultural knowledge and unimpeachable integrity. Interested? I smiled. I'm a librarian, who just gave the most elegant lesson in art history and human nature I've ever witnessed. Think about it. She handed me her card. I left the reception and drove home to my small apartment. The walls were lined with books and a few carefully chosen pieces my grandmother had left me. Not valuable ones. She'd been very specific about which grandchild got what, based on our personalities, not our circumstances. My phone buzzed all night. Texts from James. Voicemails from his family. Emails with sudden invitations to family events I'd never been included in before. I ignored them all and made tea in my grandmother's simple porcelain teapot. Worth perhaps $20, but priceless to me. The next morning, James appeared at my door with divorce papers. If you're worth millions, I deserve half, he announced. I'm worth exactly what I was worth yesterday, I said, taking the papers. A librarian's salary and some family heirlooms. The vase was a gift to your sister. It's no longer mine. But you have others. Your grandmother left you things. Yes, I agreed. She left me her stories, her recipes, her strength, and a few modest pieces. Nothing worth selling. I don't believe you. That's always been your problem, James. You never believed me. Not when I told you I loved you for who you were, not your family's money. Not when I said I was happy with our simple life. Not when I tried to share my heritage with you. I want an inventory of everything you inherited. Fine. I went to my desk and pulled out a folder. Here's the complete list with appraisals. Total value, about $3,000. The vase was the only significant piece, and it's gone now. He snatched the papers, scanning them furiously. This can't be everything. My grandmother had 6 grandchildren, James. She divided her treasures according to our hearts, not equally. She gave me the vase because she knew I'd understand its true value. And you just gave it away. He threw the papers down. You're an idiot. Perhaps. Or perhaps I'm the only one who truly understood what it was worth. 6 months later, the divorce was final. James got half of our meager assets, which amounted to about $5,000 and a used Honda. His family, meanwhile, was tearing itself apart over the vase. Victoria wanted to keep it. Blake wanted to sell it. Patricia claimed it should go to the eldest Thompson. Margaret insisted it belonged to the family trust. Sarah Chin called me one afternoon. You were right. They're putting it up for auction. The family is fighting so badly, they'd rather have the money to divide. Such a shame. My grandmother would understand, I said. She always said that objects find their way to where they belong. The vase served its purpose, which was to reveal truth. The Thompsons showed me who they really were. I showed them who I really am. And the vase? It will find a new home with someone who appreciates beauty and history. The Christie's job offer still stands, Sarah said. In fact, it's increased. We need someone who understands that value isn't always about price tags. I looked around the library where I'd worked for 8 years, at the children waiting for story time, at the elderly gentleman I'd been helping research his family genealogy. Can I work part-time? I asked. I'm not ready to leave the library completely. We'll make it work, Sarah laughed. Anyone who can give away a $3 million vase as a wedding gift and walk away with her dignity intact? That's someone we need at Christie's. A year later, I stood in the auction room as the vase came up for sale. The Thompsons were all there, watching eagerly as the bidding started at $1 million and quickly climbed. $3.5 million, $3.6 million. I thought about my grandmother, who'd wrapped that vase in her wedding dress to protect it during the long boat journey from China, who'd hidden it during the Cultural Revolution, who'd cherished it not for its value but for its story. $4 million, $4.1 million. Victoria caught my eye across the room. She looked older, sadder. The perfect Thompson family facade had cracked beyond repair. They'd gained a fortune but lost their unity. Sold. For $1,500,000. As the gavel came down, I whispered the prayer my grandmother always said. May you find a home where you are truly valued. The buyer was a museum in Beijing. The vase was going home, to be displayed with its full history, including the story of Lily Chun, the concubine who became an empress through courage and love. Later, in the Christie's employee break room, Sarah asked, "Any regrets?" "No," I said honestly. My grandmother gave me many gifts. The vase was just the most obvious one. What were the others? I smiled, thinking of the lessons hidden in her stories, the strength woven through her recipes, the dignity she maintained despite every hardship. The knowledge that true worth isn't measured in dollars. The understanding that gifts given freely return to you in unexpected ways. And the wisdom to know that when people show you who they really are, you should believe them. Expensive lessons, Sarah noted. Priceless ones, I corrected. Just like that dusty old vase that changed everything. The Thompsons got their money. The museum got its treasure. And me? I got my freedom, my dignity, and a new career celebrating the kind of history and beauty that can't be bought or sold, only honored and shared. My grandmother would have called that a bargain at any price. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.